Hello friends, I'm Rosa. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new here. Today we're going to be talking about my May TBR, because May is just around the corner. I don't know what happened with April. Genuinely, I don't know and I'm worried, but time to move on to another TBR. So today we're going to be talking about, I think it's 12 books. Yeah, 12 books. Some of them are in a series, some of them are from a duology. I keep looking down here because that's where my stack of books is. And actually the series, I might split up into two to do the other half in June. I don't really know yet. We will see. However, let's get started. So, the first book that I want to talk about today is this Poison Heart, which is also my book club's book pick for the month. So the primary pick. If you want to check out my book club, you can find a link to it in the pinned comment at the top of the comment section. So this is a young adult fantasy. It's written by Kalynn Bayron. There's also some magic in it, and I believe also an LGBT romance. So between two girls. But in this book, we follow our lead girl right here, who, after her aunt dies, basically inherits her mansion, manor, house. I don't know what to call it. Oh, and worth noting as well is that our girl obviously has some powers. She can like control plants and grow plants and stuff. So at this estate that she's inherited, there's a lot of flowers and plants and stuff. So her and her family are kind of counting on her being able to control her gifts, her plant power, if you will. But as it turns out, the estate also comes with a very specific set of instructions, and I'm guessing some things don't really go the way that they're supposed to. So I'm super excited because I've heard so many good things about this book. The sequel is also coming out in June, so I figure May is also the perfect time to kind of get into it. So I can see if I want the sequel or not, but I'm expecting very good things from this book, so super excited for it. Yeah, but that was this Poison Heart. My book club's secondary book pick for May is The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie Oh. If you're wondering, this is the Fairy Loot special edition that they did in February, I think? March, yes. This is a young adult fantasy. I believe there's some romance in it, and it also draws inspiration from a Korean legend. I think it's called Shimcheong, like the legend of Shimcheong. But in this book, we follow our lead girl who lives in a village, a world, possibly, wait, hold on. A homeland. She lives in a homeland, okay. That are basically being ravaged by storms. So what the people in her homeland do every year to appease the sea god, because they think the sea god is causing these storms, they basically sacrifice a maiden every year, which, can I just say, is completely messed up, but okay. And as it turns out, a lot of people seem to think that our lead girl's brother's beloved, Shimcheong, is the maiden that's kind of gonna fix all of this. However, on the day that she's supposed to be sacrificed, our lead girl's brother follows her, and our lead girl knows that if he interferes, it could be catastrophic. So she decides to sacrifice herself in her brother's beloved's place instead, and by doing that she's swept away to the spirit realm, where she finds out that the sea god is actually asleep. So she has to get help from a mysterious young man to awaken the sea god, and I believe there's some other stuff going on in it too, but I don't really know. I'm super excited to figure it out once I start reading it though. I've heard many good things about this. People seem to have been really receiving it well, so I'm super excited for it. I'll probably be reading this during my 24-hour readathon, because she is not, like, I think she's like 330 pages or so I'm gonna be covering this, and I'm looking forward to it so much. Very excited for this read. Then I also asked my patrons, they got a vote, a poll, with 3 different options, and I only added emojis. No titles, no authors, no genres, and they chose the dagger and the blood, so I mean, the other two were kind of cute. There was a horse and a moon. No, there wasn't a moon. I think it was a skull. Yeah. Okay, not so peaceful. It's fine. And there was also a woman and a moon. So, but no. They went with the blood and the dagger. That's fine. I'm cool with it. Whatever's on your mind, I hope we're good. But the one that they ended up voting for without really fully knowing was A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. So this is a young adult murder mystery, and honestly I don't fully know what it's about other than what I've read on the back of the book, and that's all I want to know. Essentially though, we follow our lead girl. We love lead girls, okay. Lead girls are amazing. But she lives in a town or a city, let's call it it says town. Yeah. But 5 years ago, a murder happened. A schoolgirl was killed by someone else, and who the police kind of blame for this murder has already been in prison. But our lead girl, for her final school project, she decides to pick up this murder and basically cover it. And in the process of doing this, she uncovers a lot of secrets. She comes across a lot of stuff that people want hidden, and I'm very, very intrigued. So I'll be having a good time with this. This is also a very, very popular young adult murder mystery book. So I'm very, very excited. I'm super nervous if I'm just gonna be like dragged into this heavily and will want book 2 and 3, because that tends to happen. We will see. But I'm very, very excited for this. So thank you to my patrons. Not that I didn't want to read the other 2 books, but thank you anyway. Next book that I want to talk about is, or next book that I'm gonna be reading. Actually, should I have put up my books here? I'm gonna do that. Yeah, I know you already saw the next title. It's fine, just pretend that you didn't. The next book is All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover. This is an adult contemporary romance. Contemporary. I'm expecting not rom-com vibes because I never get that from Colleen Hoover, but I love her books nonetheless. So I believe this is about a couple, and we follow them in kind of like 2 different timelines as far as I know, but I could be wrong about this. I haven't read the book, so I could be wrong. But in one timeline, they are getting to know each other. They've both come out of relationships that have ended, where they had like cheating partners, basically. And in the new timeline, they are very unhappy for some reason. I have kind of an inclination of why, but I don't want to say anything because it might be a spoiler. I think I know why, but I'm not gonna say why, or I'm not gonna share my thoughts, at least. But another book that I've heard many good things about, I just kind of needed to throw in, like, there's a lot of fantasy going on this month, so I needed to throw in an adult contemporary romance because I do love myself a good romance. So I have several of Colleen Hoover's books that I've not read, but I just have them. So I was like, I'm gonna pick out this one. It's not too thick, so I can probably read it during my 24-hour readathon as well. I'm looking forward to it. I'm expecting to get hit in the feels, as I always do because Colleen Hoover likes to break hearts, but that's basically all I know about this book. I'm excited for it though. And then I have 4 books that I neither know a lot about, and I don't actually own them, but I'm going to be reading them on my Kindle. The 4th one is coming out in May, which is why I've decided to go into them in May. But it's the Plated Prisoner series by Raven Kennedy, I believe it is. They are, if not adult, then at least new adult fantasy romance. A lot of trigger warnings for this, I have heard, and I don't fully know what the series is about, like I said, and I don't really want to know either, not before going into it. All I know is that there's something about a very gilded prisoner. All right, the first book is called Gild. I'll put up a cover. There you go. I don't know why she's a prisoner. I don't know anything about the guy who's holding her prisoner. I know nothing. And sometimes I prefer when it's like that when I go into books. Like, I didn't really know much about Ekotar either before I went into them. Didn't know anything about The Infernal Devices either, and that's like one of my favorite trilogies, so I just don't want to know. But I feel like I should share with you anyway that I'm planning on reading them in May, so, and hopefully have a good time with them as well. But I do know that the first one is supposed to be kind of not that great, but then it picks up in the second one. So with that in mind, I'm still looking forward to it. But yeah, the Plated Prisoner series by Raven Kennedy. And while we're on the topic of books that I don't really know much about, I have 2 other ones that, or technically 3, but it's a standalone and a duology. And it's another one of those situations where I just don't want to know. You guys surely kind of relate to that sometimes, or at least some of you do, but I realize that it's super annoying when you're recording videos and you're supposed to kind of summarize what they're about, or at least like summarize the synopsis. So I know that it's annoying, but I'm gonna be selfish and just not tell you. You can look up the, you're free to look up the synopses yourself on Goodreads or in bookstores or whatever, if you want to though. But the next book is The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. This was one of, in January, I did a video called 12 Books You Want Me to Read, and this was actually one of those. So for some reason, there's something about this cover that just screams May to me, and I might be completely off. It also kind of screams June. I don't know, but when I got the list done after finding all the book recommendations or suggestions, whatever you want to call them, I made a little list of when I wanted to read each one, and I was like, that one is in May. Like, I feel it. This is adult high fantasy, lots of LGBT rep as far as I know, and I don't know what it's about. I don't want to know before I go into it. All I know is that it says on the back, and I love this comment blurb, let's call it a blurb. It says, the next generation of hit fantasy fiction, a feminist Lord of the Rings. That's all I need to know. That is literally all I need to know. It also says, a world divided, a queendom without an heir, an ancient enemy awakens. So I do know that there's possibly not a lot of dragons involved in this, despite the dragons being, or the dragon being on the cover. However, I'm okay with that. I'm super excited for this one because people are loving it, and I was also ordered by you guys to read it, so I'm gonna do that. Hearing me. It's happening. She's a thick one, but it's happening. I am nothing if not stubborn, and I am not scared by thick books. Just like a tiny bit, but it'll be fine. And the duology that I mentioned before was Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor, and also Muse of Nightmares. I'm gonna put this one up here because I'm not holding up two books. There we go. But this is young adult fantasy. I believe there's romance in it. I've heard that this duology is absolutely amazing. I have not read anything by Laini Taylor yet, but I've heard that her writing is beautiful. So these were, or at least the first one was one of the 12 books that I am supposed to be reading in 2022, chosen by you. And it's another one of those that I don't want to know. I just don't want to know. All I know is there's a redheaded girl who's blue, and there's a guy called Laszlo Strange who works with books or something. There's something to do with moths as well. I don't really know. And a place called Weep. I'm very intrigued. I'm very curious. I'm looking forward to this so much. Thank you to my mom for giving them to me for Christmas, by the way. And also on the back it says, on the second Sabbath of 12th moon, in the city of Weep, a girl fell from the sky. Her skin was blue, her blood was red. No idea what that means, but I'm sold. I'm looking forward to it so much. So the last book that I have to talk about is Girl, Serpent, Thorne by Melissa Bashardust? Wait, that sounds kind of correct. I have no clue. I'm just guessing here. I'm sorry. I'm Danish. No one knows how to pronounce my last name here either. I wish I was kidding, but I'm not. This is a young adult fantasy, I believe, with maybe some magic. There's at least a curse involved in this, and possibly also romance. I'm saying that with a question mark behind it. But we follow a princess who is cursed. I'm not really sure how, but I'm guessing it's got something to do with touch, something to do with poison maybe, but she's been kind of hidden away from everyone just to keep everyone else safe, if you will. However, her brother, I believe, is getting married, so she's kind of forced to choose if she wants to stay hidden away or get out there, also because she needs some answers to what's this curse about. And there's something about a guy as well, and you can probably tell that I don't really know super much about this book, but it was recommended to me, so I'm reading it because I have faith in people who recommend me books. I'm looking forward to it. It's also beautiful, so I do want to add that. This is a beautiful cover. I don't really like white books, but this I like. It's also actually kind of green. It's not really full on white, but this I love. This is gorgeous. So that is my last book for May. I like how you can just see Dobby's arm just like right here. He falls down all the time, and just ignore him, it's fine. So we got 8 physical books, 4 on Kindle. I am possibly, most likely not going to be able to read all of them, but I'm going to do my best. It'll be a good reading month. I'm not really doing much, so I have faith that I'll be able to finish all of these. But let me know if you have read any of these books and you liked them, or if you didn't. Also feel free to let me know, just no spoilers. If you want links to any of them on either Amazon or Book Depository, I always leave those in the description box down below, along with also genres and authors, just in case that my pronunciation is off and you want to check them out. But I think that is pretty much it. I'm super excited. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to hang out with me and also nerd out about books with both me and everyone in the comments, definitely consider hitting the subscribe button. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the thumbs up. But that is all I got for you guys today, so I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!